Good morning, and I welcome you, students. We are going to begin chapter 1 of the science ninth class students. As you will open the book of NCRT ninth class, the first chapter you see matter in our surroundings. What do you mean by matter in our surroundings?
Sir,
Wha-
matter is something that occupies space and has mass.
Okay. If I observe the words very carefully, what I see in the topic student, chapter 1 matter and surroundings. Why do we talk of matter and surroundings? Everything around you is surroundings. You are sitting in a room taking a class students, everything around you are surroundings. What surroundings you see? You are seeing tables, you are seeing chairs, you are seeing your books, you have a pen, you have a notebook, you have house where you are living, and you are saying all this is matter. Am I right? Whatever
Yes, sir.
you are observing in the surroundings is a matter. But there are many things which you cannot see with the eyes. That is also the surrounding. That is also a matter. You know about that. You can see the table, you can see the chair, you can see the books, you can see the glass, you can see right now here I have a cup student and I am taking ginger tea, for example. So you are saying it is visible to you. This cup is visible to you, students. This pen is visible to you with which I am writing. Laptop, you are using a laptop, students, and you are listening to my lecture. All this you are saying is a matter, is a matter. But there are certain things which you cannot see, that is also a matter. Can you give me an example of what you don't see is a matter, students?
Sir, air.
Yeah, okay, that's very good. Right now, students, you are taking inhaling oxygen gas, air. You are aware of the respiration process, students. We are inhaling air. Air has oxygen, air has nitrogen, and some more gases. We are inhaling. What happens when we inhale air or oxygen? This oxygen is going to perform certain function in our body, which we will study in bio metabolism, how the food is getting digested in the body, students. So air is also a matter, students. Yes or no? Is it a matter or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, air is also a matter. So that means, students, in general, we can say that the things around us, whatever we things we are seeing, you are seeing the clouds, you are seeing the stars, students, you have a sky, and you are saying everything is a matter. Now, in science, student, we have to define and give a scientific definition of the matter. You are saying, oh, this is a dust particle. Dust particle may be visible to you, may not be visible to you. Suspended particles are there in the air. You know, you are heard about pollution, student, ppm level. They are talking of parts per million.
Yes, sir.
So the particles are of very very small size. The particles are not visible to my eyes, student. So is that the matter or not, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we are saying the air we breathe, the food we eat, the clouds we see, the star, the plants, the animals, everything around us, student, in our surroundings is matter. So in other words, what we say, student, if anything is matter, it must has a mass. It must has a mass. If anything is matter, student, that it must has a mass, how small it may be. There cannot be any particle which doesn't have a mass. The mass could be very, very small or very, very large, student. The mass of Earth is very large. Mass of dust particle is very small, and there are particles in science which are having very, 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 very small masses. We will studying that. So it has a mass, student, and if it has a mass, students, it will occupy some volume also. It will occupy some volume. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So we can say that matter is anything that occupies space, and if it is existing particle, it will have some, it will occupy some space because it has a volume, it has a mass. So we say that matter is anything which occupies space and has mass is a matter, student. That is our definition of the matter. So many examples we have given you, which you are experiencing. The important point to mark here is mass and volume. So students, while you are studying, you will keep the notebooks ready. You will keep colored pens ready with you, and you will always make your own notes. Why do we make our notes, students? Because by this process we learn better, and our focus and concentration is there, so that we learn each and every part, each and every chapter very clarity with clarity, students. And therefore students, we are preparing our own notes. These notes are helpful to us, and also we learn better by using our mind, our body, our soul, our heart, student. Writing, so we are visualizing, we are visualizing, we are using our own pen, paper, everything. This adds to the learning process. That's why I say that, okay, keep on with, keep with yourself with me, stay alive, students, stay alert, stay and pay attention to each and every word. Pay
Yes.
attention to each and every one. This is important point in science. Here I am not teaching you any chemistry, any physics, any maths or any bio. I teach science to the students. That's why they said ninth science, 10th science. What do it mean, student? That what is science after all? So we will observe things, we will perform certain activities, we will perform certain experiments, and we will come out with certain theories or certain postulates, certain conclusions, students, which can be experimentally verified. And we will be doing all this process in our studies of the ninth class science. So we are saying matter is anything which has space, which has volume, which has mass, student. So air, water, sugar, sand, hydrogen, oxygen, etc. are examples. Matter is made up of. Now the question is, matter is made up of what? Is this matter made up of, student? What is this matter made up of? Important point, student. You are saying there is a matter. So what is this? We are saying, students, here I have a pen in my hand. Is it just one particle, or it is made up of very, very small and tiny particles? That is our question.
Small and tiny particles.
Or it is a continuous, it looks very good, smooth to me, but then we, you are saying it is made up of very, very tiny particles, students. Can we see those particles with the eyes? I mean, I can see the pen, student, but I can't see those small particles which are making this. So lot of things are not visible to us, but that doesn't mean they don't exist, students. So our purpose is to perform activities and do experiments which will prove that this matter is made up of very, very tiny particles. Something which we can see has no problem. If I can see a particle, student, if I can see a grain of, if I can see a grain of sand, there is no problem. I can see it. I can see it. But very, very tiny particles, very, very tiny particles are there, student, which cannot be seen by the eye. They cannot be seen by eye. When certain things cannot be seen in eye, in science they are using what they call, they put a lens, student, and try to magnify the image of the objects. So they use microscopes. Even with microscopes we may not be able to see the very, very tiny particles, but we will have to prove it that it is made up of tiny particles. So the question will always be there, student. What is the physical nature? What is the physical nature? What is the physical nature of the matter, students? What we are saying, actually there were two theories. One was continuous, that matter is something continuous as we observe, as we observe with our eyes, so continuous. Second is that it is made up of, what we are saying, that matter is made up of particles, students. There are particles. What particles? You are saying very, very small, small particles. They are together, student, to form the matter which you experience and see in everyday life. Even each of the smallest of the smallest particle will also have some mass and volume. It is not possible that anything can exist without that. Nothing will exist without that student. So we have to find out, student, the physical nature of the matter. So we understand today what is matter, what are the surroundings, why the name has been given matter in our surroundings. So our surroundings are nothing but everything around our surrounding is matter. The air is matter. The all the goods which you are experiencing at your home, the clothes you are wearing, student, your body itself is a matter. The food you are eating. So whatever surroundings you are able to see with the eyes is all matter, and those which you cannot see with the eyes also matter. So you are saying that matter is either continuous or particles. So how will we find what is the nature of the matter, which we call as a physical nature of the matter? So we'll also study the chemical nature of the matter in these chapters, student, how the matter will be reacting with some other substances and new substances could be formed. So we'll take that matter also in the coming chapters. First point. So the second question before us is that physical nature of the matter. As I said, there are two possible theories which we are saying, that matter is continuous. Second, you are saying matter is made up of very, very tiny particles. Everything you observe, you have a rock, student, then you are saying the rock appears to me as one big thing, but ultimately we come to we will find out that this is made up of very, 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 very tiny particles. For example, you are saying it is the sugar which you are eating, student. Then you see in the sugar powder very, very small type of sugar particles. So they are still visible to me. This particle is visible. Now the question is, does it has more particles in it, or how many particles are there in this sugar, or what are the particles which make up the sugar, student? If I say this is my glass, student, and I put in this some water, student. So the question is the water continuous, or is it made up of certain particles which are very, very small? To me, what is visible is water which I am drinking, student. But can I see the small particles which are there in the water, small particles in this piece of sugar, student? I don't. So how will we say that it matter is made up of particles? So the first question is this: matter is made up of particles. Therefore, students, we will perform an activity. What will we do? Perform an activity, or what we call it is an experiment, student. In chemistry lab, in science lab, what we do, we are performing experiments to verify certain things. Whatever is not visible to us, we may perform an experiment to prove that okay, it is not a continuous, matter is not continuous, but matter is made up of particles. What we are saying, you are saying matter is not continuous, student, is not continuous, but what it is made up of particles. So what activities can be performed, student? Let us take a very simple activity, student. We will perform an activity to decide about the nature of matter. Is it continuous or particulate? Take 100 milliliter beaker, student. You have seen beaker in the chemistry lab, student.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is made up of a glass, student. 100 milliliter beaker, student. ठीक है. Fill it with water. This is my water, student. You are filling it with water. This is the water, student. In this, dissolve some salt, sugar with the help of a glass rod. You have a sugar, student. You can take sugar, or you have salt. You are eating the common salt, student. This is my spatula. For example, I supposing take, student, 10 gram 10 gram of this or half a spoon of this sugar or salt. I put this in here and take a glass rod, student, and you stir it. Stir it, what will happen, student? What happened, student? There was sugar here, salt here. I stirred it. Did you, after stirring, what happens, student? What you observe, student?
Sir, it gets disappear.
It disappears. So what we find, student, the sugar or salt you are saying has disappeared. Disappear. Or what you say, it has got dissolved in water, students. It has got dissolved in water. Now the question is where it has gone, student? Where it is gone? Has it disappeared? Disappeared where, student? What do you mean by disappear, student? If I taste the water, student, it may, if it is sugar, it will be sweet in taste, and for salt it will be salt taste, saline taste, student. What it proves, student? That sugar and salt, they are still present in the water. They are present in the water, but they are not visible to us now. So they have become invisible, cannot be seen by the eyes. But if you taste it, you can experience it, that it is inside the water. Where is it? Inside the water, student. This is the important, interesting thing. It is no longer there, but if you taste it, it is there. What it proves, student? What it proves? What I am trying to say. Here are, student, my water. Okay, here is my spoon. I am putting salt in water. You stir it and it becomes soluble. Okay. Now, what is happening? You are now saying the salt is has disappeared. Disappears in water. We are saying salt dissolves in water. Salt dissolves in water, but not visible. But if I taste it, student, it is saline, salt taste is there. That means it has not disappeared. It has gone and dissolved in water. And students, if I observe, that means when salt dissolve in water, the salt must be made up of very tiny particles. The small amount of salt, for example, this is just one pellet of salt, student. As soon as I put in water, it is dissolving. That means it is made up of very tiny particles, student, which are now not visible to me. The particles are so small, once they dissolve in water, they are not visible to me. Similarly, we can say water. Water is also made up of very tiny particles. And when I see water in the beaker, student, what I see is water. This is water. But I don't see those tiny particles with my eyes, neither of the salt nor of the water. But once they dissolve, student, the salt is disappeared. Where it is gone, student? That means, student, important that salt is made up of tiny particle, water is made up of tiny particles. So this proves, student, particle nature of the matter. Particle nature of the matter. If it was continuous, student, then it will not dissolve. It would be there as it is. But it is dissolving completely, and that means, student, there are spaces between the particles where it is gone. If you see the level of the water, student, before salt is added and after the salt is added, what I was doing, I have 50 milliliter of water and I have added 20 grams pudding salt, half spoon, and stir it. What I observe, student, if I mark the level, this was a level, student. I will find there is no change, ठीक है, in level of the water.
Yes, sir.
What it proves, student? That means there are these particles have got spaces between them. What we are saying, student, that there are empty spaces, student, between the particles. Empty spaces are there between the particle, students. So in those spaces, the salt particles go and adjust. Therefore, there is no change in the level of the water. What we try to say, students, for example, it is not possible to draw a correct picture because the size of the particle is very, very small. If I imagine a magnified image to explain this, for explanation, I am assuming the particles are larger. Actually, they are very, 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 very small, as you have seen. So you can say that if a student, uh, you have particles, supposing these are the particles of water, students, inside the water molecule, students. And this is your H2O. And students, if you have blue color salt particles, then where they are gone, student, they are gone inside these empty spaces. Where they are gone, empty spaces, students. So what will be the result? There will be no net change in the volume, and there is a limit up to which you can dissolve. After all this is saturated, then no more salt can be dissolved in that water that you will experience. Then that starts settling down, students. Therefore we can say that what we conclude, student, from this, that matter is not continuous, but matter is tiny particles. What we conclude, students, matter is tiny particles. Have you
And sir,
noted down everything?
matter is made up of particles.
Matter is made up of particles, and these have got empty spaces between them. Okay, you noted down all this? Note down, note down. So we proceed further. Everything you should note down, student. It will help you. We are learning science. Therefore, we must know what we are doing. Students, pay attention and learn. Each and every word is important. Focus, concentrate, and I will tell you certain techniques to improve the mental power and learn science in a very, very easy manner. Can we proceed further, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, students. How small are these particles? You are saying one thing is clear. We have said matter is made up of particles. Question number 2 comes, how small are these particles? How small are these particles, students? How small are these particles? Again, we will perform an activity, students. We will perform an activity or what we call as an experiment to find out how small is this, students. What we are doing, saying in this activity, student, you are taking 2 to 3 crystals of potassium permanganate. Student, in the chemistry lab, student, in the science lab, you will find potassium permanganate. Potassium permanganate, student. This has a very beautiful, student. What I am talking is a purple color. Purple color. If I say the formula of this in chemistry is written like this. I will take, student, 2 to 3 crystals. Yes, just a tiny speck. This one. Okay, two crystals. Just this part, very small part. And you can see that this is very small. What is this? I'm taking this crystal, student, small part of that. And what I do, student, I have a beaker, student, 100 milliliter. Okay, 100 milliliter water is there. You add this, student, this crystal. Okay, this just one crystal you add in it. What will happen?
Sir, color will change.
There, here you see, this is my 100 milliliter water, student, and you will find, if you take a rod and stir it, you will see, student, what you will see, the violet color solution. Violet color solution. The color becomes violet, students. Whole solution becomes violet in color. Now, why will the whole solution become violet in color, students? What is the reason? You said that this one crystal which I added, student, is made up of tiny particles. And as soon as I put them in water, they dissolve, student. These particles are dissolving in water. The particles are dissolving in water, student. In other words, what I am experiencing, students. You are saying these are the particles of the water, student, blue colored particles of the water. And students, what is happening? You can see this violet color particles now. They are completely mixed up and the color of the solution changes. Now the second question is, students, How small are these particles? How small are these particles, students? Are they small or very, very small, student? How will I know this? What I do now? You have 100 milliliter of solution now in which you dissolved 1 to 2 crystals of potassium permanganate. This is a, what you see, I am saying deep violet in color. You will take, student, 10 milliliter of this. Okay? And in another beaker, student, what you are doing? You take 10 milliliter of this. How much? 10 milliliter of this. And in this you add 90 milliliter water. Okay? Now again the volume becomes how much? 100. And you will find still violet color is there. The solution is violet in color, but it was deep violet. The color becomes less. The intensity of the color decreases. Intensity of the color decreases, student. Further, you can take these beakers again, 10 milliliter of this, and add 90 of the water. As you will keep on adding water, student, but this process is called dilution in chemistry. You will find the color which is violet, student, it becomes less and less. The color becomes fades away. The color is fading, but color has not disappeared. Here is what we have seen, student. This is, you can see the first 100 milliliter. This is deep violet, less violet, more less violet, and very color is slowly and slowly fading away, but it has not disappeared. Color has not disappeared, student. What it means, students? Why will the color be still there? That means there were particles, student, in one crystal of this, student. One crystal of KMnO4, which I took potassium permanganate, there were millions of particles. How many? More large number of particles. How large? Millions of particles were there, student. 10 power 6, 10 power 8, or more than that. And slowly, as you dilute it, the number of particles is decreasing, student. And therefore the color fades. But it is clear that the particles are very small in size. Therefore, student, the particles are particles how small? What we are saying, particles are very small, students. If I take, student, supposing I take water. If I take, student, 18 grams of water, it will have more than 10 power 23 particles of water. So can you believe it, student? Something unbelievable. Unbelievable, students. That the size of the particles is very small. If I take one drop of water, student, you can see one drop of water, how one drop is, student, one drop of water. It may contain, student, more than 10 power 22, 10 power 20 particles of the water. How many? 10 power 20. So this is something unbelievable, student, beyond our imagination. We can't see them. There's no way you will be able to see them, students. If I take if you have sugar, student, If I take sugar student, just one small crystal of sugar, one small crystal of sugar. You are using sugar at home.
Yes, sir.
White crystals are there.
Yes, sir.
Take up one crystal student, and this one crystal may contain more than 10 power, what we are saying, more than 10 power 18 particles of the sugar.
So, sir, there are large number of particles in just one crystal of sugar.
Yes, large, I'm saying millions and billions of particles. What is this? Trillions and trillions of particles. More than that. 10 power 6 is 1 million. 10 power 9 is a trillion. And what I'm talking is number 10 power 18. Oh, that crystal student, one crystal has got how many? 10 power 18 or 10 power 20 particles in it. Can you see them? Answer is no. You can't see that doesn't mean they are not there. Then where are they? When you dissolve in water, they are gone. They disappear, students. Do you see them? No. If you use any microscope, nothing. You can't see them. They are very, very small in size, students. They are small beyond our imagination. Here I have given a number to show that. What we are seeing and what we cannot see, that is the science, student. What we cannot see, we will try to see them by certain experiments. That is science. That is the machines are there, student. These are the experiments. Can you see the one virus? Can you see one virus?
No, sir.
No, sir. Then how you are saying there is a virus, student? And they are multiplying inside your body once they enter it. So they are very, very small in size, students. Very, very small, very, very small, tiny. Here we are talking that everything is made up of particles. Whatever matter you are seeing, student, you are seeing me, you are seeing your laptop, you are seeing my pen, student, you are observing me. Uh, but I am made up of very, 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 very tiny particles. We'll see what are those atoms, elements, and molecules, student. We will see their sizes also in our coming classes. So here one thing is clear, student. These experiments, these activities have proved one thing. What have they proved, student? That all matter,
Particles of
anything
matter are very small.
is made up of tiny particles, very, very tiny particles. Beyond, the particles of matter are very small, students. They are small beyond our imagination. I have given you a number to show that. What do you mean by 10 power 23, students? 18 grams of water, more than 10 power 23. How do you write 10 power 23? How many zeros you will put?
23.
23. So how big will be that number, students? See, so these activities, student, which we have performed, these experiments are simple experiments, can be done by students in their science labs, or even the dissolution of sugar and salt can be done at home. They have proved that this is whatever matter we have, student, it is made up of very, very tiny particles. And you know, those tiny particles, what we call as atoms, student, which will be studied in one of the chapter here. These atoms, different elements are there. You have heard about them: element, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen. And these atoms are of different sizes, and the size of the atom could be around 10 minus 10 meter. What is a 10 minus 10 meter size of the atom? What is 1 meter? You have seen 1 meter? Have you
Yes, sir.
seen 0.1 meter? I'm talking of 10 minus 10 meter, student. What is a 10 minus 10 meter? You have 1 meter. You have seen, if I divide by 10 power 10 student, how small it will be. Will it be visible to you? Can you see it? The answer is no. So students, if we can't see certain things, that doesn't mean they don't exist, student, but they are their student. And from experiments and activities, we will be able to observe them, student, observe them. So we have done activities and we have reached at one stage. The next question has always been with us. What are the characteristics of the particles of the matter, students? You are saying they are very tiny, small size beyond our imagination. What are the properties of these particles, students? Then the important point is, what are the characteristics of the particles of the matter, students? We are saying the particles of the matter, particles of the matter, they have space between them. What do you mean by they have space between them, student? What you see around you, solids, you see solid, you have seen solids around you. Your chair is a solid, table is a solid, pen is a solid, the utensils which you are using are solids. You have seen copper wire, you have seen gold, silver, they are solid, student. You have seen liquids also.
Yes, sir.
Water you are very drinking all every day 5 to 10 glasses you are drinking water, student. You have seen gases, you cannot see air but you are using it, air. Okay, so you have water here. If I say you have copper, student, you have seen copper, you have seen iron, these, now these are all matter. Okay,
Yes.
according to what we say, it is matter, it is matter, it is matter. And you are saying they are made up of very small particles. If I say, if I say this is copper, supposing I say, student, here is a piece of copper, then you are saying copper is made up of very, very small particles. Some particles are there which I can't see. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Particles are there, student. They are very small. I am showing bigger than, actually beyond imagination, their size is. Atom size, we have shown you 10 minus 10 meter, student. They are made up of atoms which are very small. But what we are saying, there are spaces in between them. There are, student, what is inside them? You are saying there are spaces, student, empty spaces between them. In a solid, you will see the space is very less, but in a liquid, you will see more spaces. Here you have liquid, student. There is empty space, and there is a more empty space in a liquid, more empty space in liquid than solids, more than solids. And if I come to the gas, what happens, student? In gas, the particles are farther away, and gases are, you see this gases, there is a more space, more empty space. But there is a space in everything. Every matter has some space in it. So students, how will we prove that there is an empty space between them? How will we prove that there is an empty space? Okay? That matter have empty space, has space between them. So again, we will have to perform some activity, student. For everything, I do an activity. What activity I am doing, student? Take a glass of water. Here student, I have water. ठीक है. Supposing I take 100 milliliter of water, student, you add in this, supposing I am adding 10 to 20 gram of sugar, student, and stir it. What will happen? What you find? The sugar dissolves in water.
Sir, the particles of sugar will fill with the particles of water.
So sugar is disappeared, you are saying. It is dissolving in water. You can taste it. The water will be sweet. Sugar dissolves. Sugar disappears, student. But the solution has a sweet taste. That means sugar is inside the water. Further, student, what you observe? This was the, I mark the level of the water. And you will find that after you added 20 gram of sugar dissolves, the water level does not change. So what it means, student, there were some empty spaces in which the sugar has gone. Empty spaces are there, student. The sugar has got dissolved in those empty spaces. You can take salt, you can take sugar or anything which is soluble in water, student. This empty spaces were there in which the sugar particles have got adjusted. These sugar particles, they are also very small and they have got adjusted. Sugar particles, they have got adjusted, student. Where? They have adjusted in the empty spaces which was there in the water molecules. Adjusted in spaces between water molecules. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that proves that, student. As I said, there will be different space available in solid, in liquid and gases. Least, little more, and lot of space is there in gases. All right. What else we find, student? Another important property. What is the other? Particles of matter are continuously moving, students. If I take water, student, here is a water. This water is still in a glass, student. Do you see any movement? No. What do you see? Water only, simply water. You can't even see the small particles inside the water. What you said, this water, what we know in chemistry, student, is H2O. That is the formula of the water. So if you have particle, student, of water, very small particle which I cannot see, student, with my eyes. I do not see anything moving in water. Then why we are saying that these particles are in motion, student? I'm saying this are made up of very tiny water molecules and they are moving inside it. I can't see the motion with my eyes, but I shown you. It is not that if I can't see anything, it doesn't exist. I can't see the air, that doesn't mean air doesn't exist. I can't see small particles, that doesn't mean they don't exist. They exist. We have shown by activities. So how will we show that, student, the particles are in constant moving? You have seen that in your home, students, you are lighting up what we call as incense stick. You are aware of incense stick, student?
Yes, sir.
धूप अगरबत्ती. Your mom is lighting them before the temple of the house, student. What do you do, student? What is that? You have in Kinsinet, these are the stick, student. You ignite them. What happens, student? They have very good order. Have very pleasant order. So what happens, student? As you light up these incense sticks in one corner, the smell, what happens to the smell, student? It travels to the whole room. The smell can be traveled in the whole room, student. What do you mean by smell, students? There are particles. So these particles were spreading in the room in which you are lighting up this, and slowly you are sitting at one point of the room. They reach your nose and you are able to smell them. That means, student, these particles are moving. They are not at rest. These particles are moving, student. Are the particles moving or not? They are moving. What is moving? Particles. In your kitchen, you are making some food, student, and all of a sudden you see a smell is coming in the other room. How it comes, student? The smell of the food, student, reaches you. You are at a bigger distance, student. So the particles of matter are constantly moving, students. The smell of the food being cooked in kitchen reaches us. Smell of perfume spreads, student, due to diffusion of these particles. Now this motion of the particles is called diffusion. What we want to say, student, that these particles are in motion. They are moving. So in water also, student, the particles are moving. I can't see them. I can't see them. But supposing, student, in this you add a drop of red ink, drop of red ink, student, what happens? Slowly and slowly you see the red color spreads. Slowly and slowly what happens? The red color spreads, student. Why? That
Because
particle of
particles
the
are
red color is made up of tiny particles, and water is made up of tiny particles. The tiny particles of water start hitting this, and slowly it starts spreading, and the whole solution will become red in color. After some time, what it proves, student? The particles are continuously moving, and there is a kinetic theory which says that matter consists of many small particles which are constantly moving in a continuous state of motion. The degree to which particle move is determined by the amount of energy they have in relationship to other. What type of energy the moving particles have, student? These particles, student, particles are moving. They have what we call as a kinetic energy. The particles have a kinetic energy, student, with which they are moving. And this kinetic energy will change with change in temperature, student. With increase in temperature, what will happen? The particles will move faster, student. And as a result of which, you have seen when you are in the kitchen, you heat something, heat high temperature, student, the particles are moving, and as the temperature rises, students, particles move faster, students, faster, because kinetic energy of particles increases. Kinetic energy of particles increases, student. What happens? The particles have energy. Particles, the kinetic energy increases. Right? So, students, here we have shown a very important property Particles are tiny, small beyond imagination, and the particles are having space between them, students. And these particles are not at rest, student. They are continuously moving. The
Sir,
sci-
sir,
huh?
kinetic energy and temperature are directly proportional.
Yes. We'll show you in the later classes. They are related. How they are related, we will show the formulas also. So more the temperature, more the kinetic energy, that more the temperature, more heat you give, the temperature rises, the kinetic energy also increases, the particles start moving faster, and that is the reason, student, the smell travels from one place to other. Here also you are right. This is burning, student, igniting, then particles get more energy, so they spread in the entire room.
Yes, sir.
Therefore, the more the energy, the more the motion of the particles. It depends on how much energy they have. So these are the phenomenon which you observe when you will start heating the thing, students. So particles are there, very tiny, the size very small, you have seen, and they are having spaces between them, and also these particles are continuously moving. These are the characteristics and properties, and we will study more about this in the next class, students. So our we want that you should keep your notes all the time. Every sentence, every word is important, and they will be later on questions based on what we are teaching, which will be discussed by us in the coming lectures. Okay, then we'll see you in the next class, and you stay alert, focused, and concentrate on studies. Our purpose will be to decode, student, uh, each and every word of the book, and to help you learn science in a simple and easy way. You will be able to learn science, student. So we will meet you in the next class. Okay.
Thank you, sir.